If you're somebody who wants to know more about how to integrate ISO 27001 cybersecurity or information security management systems into your existing management system, so you might have a quality management system that follows ISO 9001, an occupational health and safety management system that follows ISO 45001, an environmental management system that follows ISO 14001. In this video and this webinar, I'm going to be explaining my top tips from a high level down as to how you can start to approach the integration of ISO 27001 into your existing management system. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, oh, I've got a lot of work to do. Maybe getting certified or getting an external audit is a ways down the track. That's fine. I would prefer that you got started now with the advice I've got for you in this video. I'm going to take you through about 5 key parts or 5 key areas that you can start to focus on. And I'm going to give you some things that you can literally start right now. So as soon as you finish watching this video, you can get straight into them to help you on your journey and make a start. There's nothing like saying, if we had started this 6 months ago, we could be a lot further down the track. As you guys know from watching these videos, I am all about helping you with little things that you can do right now. You don't need consultants. You don't need external people. You can do them for free. That's the value that I like to bring you. I want you to get onto it right now. So please don't have an excuse that I don't have the time, don't have the resources, because what I'm going to share with you in this particular video is if you are already running a management system, if you're already running an organization, it's very likely that you've got systems and processes or activities or traditions in place in your company that you can just neatly slot these little things into. So here at Best Practice, we give external recognition for ISO 27001 in the form of a best practice certification. It's an internationally recognized certification. We're an accredited organization with the International Accreditation Forum. We get audited. We got fully approved, fully qualified individuals that go out and do these best practice assessments. And then we basically, at the completion of the process, give you the opportunity to use this mark. You can use this mark to show your customers, your staff, your stakeholders, your industry, your competitors, that you've got an information security management system in place. What's really cool about this logo is that, yes, it looks like a tick, but it's actually a performance over time graph. And what these management systems are all about is trying to continue to improve your performance over time. And that's what we're all about here at Best Practice. You're identifying your next practices and turning them into best practices and making them part of your day-to-day activities. I just finished having a conversation with someone outside in the office right before this meeting, someone in our sales team actually, about making an amazing chocolate cake. And I like to use this analogy that if I said to you, hey, could you please go and make me a chocolate cake? Some of you would say, yeah, no problems. I do it all the time. I can do it off the top of my head. But some people might say, oh, I've made chocolate cakes before, but I'd really need to I'd need to do some Googling, find a recipe. I'd kind of need to remember the steps, get my kitchen set up, go find all the stuff in my kitchen that I need, the wooden spoons, the bowls, the cake tins, get the oven preheated. And then I need to go and grab some ingredients. And I probably haven't got all the ingredients in my fridge or my cupboard to make that chocolate cake. Now, if I said I want a roasted almond and maple syrup chocolate cake, then you'd go, oh, that's going to test me. With a dash of coffee liqueur, that's going to test me. I'm going to need to go and find the specific recipe so that I've got a good chance of success. So management systems are like recipes, or the parts of management systems are like recipes. And it's like having a cookbook on hand so that whether you're making entree, main course, or dessert, you go to a different part of the management system to help you understand what you need to do. So I'm assuming you're not all specialists in cybersecurity. Neither am I, although I do know a lot. And so what I need to do is I need to go to our management system. For us here at Best Practice, it's our intranet. We have an internal website where we put our recipes for how we want to do things around here on a regular basis. So in this video, I'm going to go through the nuances of information security. This is a copy of ISO 27001. We can help you access a hard copy of this particular standard if you reach out to our team. So if you reach out to the email address that you've got for us here at Best Practice, we can help you access a hard copy of the standard. Anywhere in the world, we can get copies and we can send them out to you. More than happy with our existing clients to facilitate that process for you. If you're not currently doing business with us here at Best Practice, now's the time to open up that pathway and reach out to us so we can do that. And one small way you can do that is we have got an information security course The boys are going to actually tell me the code. We've got a discount for you guys at the end of this particular video to do a course. Welcome 50 is the code. We're going to drop a link in the comments, live on LinkedIn and live on YouTube, to an information security course, which is more detail. I'm going to give you lots of stuff in this particular video, and I'll get started in a second. But if you are somebody who wants to know more about ISO 27001, we've got a great course available online that complements the external auditing activities that we do here. Lots of great learning and lots of great courses online. You know how they get delivered. We give you lots of value in these videos. So jumping online, it's a small fee to keep our training academy running and fund everybody. So the link there, webinar 50, is the code that's there on YouTube, and bestpracticeeducation.com.au is the site to get your discounted ISO 27001 course. Not here to sell your course, here to talk about standard. Let's get into it. So for those of you that have got experience, and here comes my 5 tips, what I want to point out to you is that ISO 27001 has the same format to its contents page, to its brother and sister standards. Whether they're brothers or sisters, you can decide. But we've got a contents page that follows a format called Annex SL. You don't need to know that. Just be aware that all ISO standards now that are management system specific, they all line up and they follow the same framework. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my favorite parts, my 5 favorite parts of the standard, and talk to you about how you slot ISO 27001 cybersecurity into your existing management system. So I'm assuming that you've already got 9001 for quality, or environment 14001, or safety 45001, and I'm going to show you where you can, the processes you slot information security into. Before I get into that, I'm going to get into it, but I've got a question. Yes, it's awesome to have everybody on board. You already know the drill. Let me know where in the world you are watching from. Hey to the guys in the Ivory Coast, in Jamaica, in Nepal. Great to have you guys from all over the world. I love knowing where everybody is. We have a great global audience. And so thanks very much for following. I really appreciate you investing the time in watching our live streams and our videos. I hope I'm continuing to bring you value. So anyone watching live on YouTube, if you are able to comment, let me know where in the world you are watching from. And the reason why I ask for the comments is that kind of breaks the seal to let you ask me questions. The camera doesn't do any talking. I'm just looking at a black lens, and the smiling Cameron, who's behind the camera right now, who's helping me in the studio. Jack's over on the comments dashboard. There's 2 guys here in the studio helping me. Hello, Box Jump in the WA Best Practice office. Good to have you on board this morning. And hello there, Mr. Thurston in Sydney. So let me know where you are watching from, where you are in the world. And then that's a great place to ask questions. The guys are going to keep refreshing the dashboard for me. So as I get through the standard, if you've got specific questions, you've got me live right now until my voice runs out. We'll see how we go, because I am recovering from like 6 weeks of COVID and flu and all sorts of crazy sickness, and I'm battling my way through it. So I'm back. We're live in the studio today to get on with it. And so hopefully I don't die in this process. I've lost 2 kilos, if you didn't notice. No one's let me know that I'm looking very handsome today. So yeah, I've basically not been able to eat anything for the last couple of weeks. So hey, Emily Parkus in Sydney, good to have you live. I knew there'd be some best practice team members on board. So, okay, let's get into it. How do we integrate this system? Now, my favorite part of all of the standards, and some of you already know this, is management review. It's the off-site quarterly. If you're a successful organization, you're already doing this or something very similar. You're measuring your organization on a quarterly basis. You're setting financial goals for yourselves. You're setting maybe some projects, maybe some rocks, if you want to call them that. And you're setting yourself up with a focused executive or leadership team or senior leadership team. You're focusing on the quarter. Lots of organizations live and die on a monthly basis. I see organizations that maybe have 8 weekly or bi-monthly meetings. But management review is really critical. Some of the biggest mistakes that I've seen organizations make in my 20 years in this industry is doing management review for the purposes of ISO once a year. The worst mistake I ever saw was an organization that tried to convince me that it was acceptable to do management review once every 3 years. I told them they were kidding themselves. I walked out of the meeting and I said, until you guys can understand how to integrate your management system into the day-to-day activities of other things that are important to you, you'll never get anywhere. So my recommendation, management review quarterly. Now, 27001 talks about that. And so it's in section 9.3. So if you've already got a quality management system, safety management system, environment management system, you integrate information security discussions into your existing management review agenda. Really easy. You can do that now. So first note that you're going to write in terms of your homework, what's the date of your next management review meeting? When are you going to be doing it? It's not negotiable. I would like to see what best practice looks like. Is best practice looks like you have those dates planned 12 months in advance on a rolling basis. So don't just go, this is when we're going to do them, get to the end of the year, when are we going to do them again? When you finish a management review meeting, book the next one and make sure it's locked in for the date and set the date for the one a year out. And ideally, you just want to get into this routine of having them about the same time every year, have them penciled into everybody's diaries, and make them not negotiable. If people aren't seeing value in it, you need to have a one-on-one conversation with the person who's not showing up or not turning up. And it could be, it's often, the key people are, say, the head of business development, for example. I don't see any value in this management review, so I'm not going to turn up for it. Okay, that's a one-on-one conversation with their leader, because they're an important part of the management review process to feed back what the market's saying. How's the market feeling? What's the market sentiment? How confident are your customers and your prospects in the economic outlook? And those are the things that need to feedback. What are they interested in? What are they concerned about? What have they been objecting to recently? You've got to feed those things into the process. And in my experience, and I am a salesperson at the end of the day, I sometimes struggle to see value because I've got other more important things to get on with, but this is an important thing and it's not negotiable. Now that comes down to section 5, which is my next favorite part, which is leadership and leadership commitment. So section 5 and 5.1 is leadership and leadership commitment. If people aren't turning up and they're not seeing value in the process, then they're not demonstrating the commitment that they need, which is that, yes, this is a priority for the organization. We need to manage this area of risk and we need to get on with it. And that is a question of, is it a question of affordability or you don't see the value? And it is your job as a systems manager to be the internal influencer and champion and try to understand and work on how to get these people on board. The biggest mistake you can make is to push back and say, I can't get anybody to do what I need them to do. I need the boss to tell them to do it. Well, that's not the way to get anything done because nobody likes to be told what to do. It's your job to figure out the positive way to influence them. And what I have found as a leader in an organization is it's about value. So it's about leaning on their, metaphorically walking up to their office, knocking on the door, leaning on the door frame and saying, if I was to help you with something that's important and urgent for you right now, what would it be? What can I do to make your life easier? And give value first before you ask for it in return. And the biggest mistake I see guys in your position and ladies in your position is you need all of this stuff because you've got your thing in your world to work on, but you're failing actually to have value exchange. And it's about fair exchange in both directions. How can you help them? It's not just about showing them the benefits of helping you and getting involved. It's about actually giving them some value. And I try to do that up front. I try to give people value first before I ask for something in return. And it's not because I want to make them feel guilty, but it's just like, I want to get on board. And so I'm going to say, right, I know I need to give value first because I can. And I look for opportunities to give people value, help them with things that they need help with, do things for them. And then basically I can ask for the things when and if I need them in the future. Okay. Thank you very much for letting me know that I'm looking very sharp today. I'm doing my best and welcome Hayden from Frankston in Victoria. How's the weather down there today? Hopefully you got some sunshine. A bit chilly. We're getting that cold blast through Sydney today. So yeah, anybody that's watching live on YouTube, great place to ask questions. We're going to leave this video on our YouTube channel, Best Practice TV. So if I have said something intelligent in this process, then go right ahead and you can hit that share button, copy the link. You could even use this link as a training video. There's lots of great videos in the Best Practice YouTube channel. You can copy the links to those and you can share them in emails or embed them in training courses in your own company. That's what they're there for. There's an incredible amount of value. I forget the number. We've done thousands of videos over the last 7 or 8 years on our YouTube channel. We're almost at 20,000 subscribers, which is pretty exciting for a boring topic like ISO standards, which is really excellent. But those YouTube videos, this video is obviously streaming live on LinkedIn, which is excellent, but it's also being streamed live to YouTube, and it'll be left on the YouTube channel. So if you do need that link, or you need to go back to the webinar code or the link to the training course, you can do that on the YouTube channel. Again, if you're watching this after the live stream, still comment and ask questions, because I do monitor the comments and I do monitor. So if you have got questions, I'll come back and I'll watch for the comments and I'll reply back to you if you have got comments. So if you're not watching live, you're watching the recording down the track, even if it's 3 years later after the live stream, then please ask those questions, because I do monitor those inboxes. Okay, so management review, we've talked about that. That's by far my favorite part of the standard. The quarterlies are so important. Most of the business books that are behind me talk about some kind of get the team together, get them focused, work out the goals, work out the priorities, and move forward. Number 2 is obviously leadership commitment and making sure that everybody's on board. There's nothing worse than covert hostility. That will just basically, it'll deflate your tires and you won't get any traction to go forward. So that is something to consider. The next one, my next favorite part of this particular standard and how to integrate it. So let me just finish on leadership and commitment. You want to make sure that information security responsibilities are embedded in people's job descriptions right from the top all the way down to the bottom of the organization, in the same way as you would embed quality, safety, or environment responsibilities. And that's how we can integrate those things. So open up the job descriptions, look at what you need to include in terms of executing responsibilities or key performance indicators or activities you need people to do. That's how you can integrate it. So we integrate it into management review, job descriptions. Okay, next one, risk management. So when we look at section 6 of the standard, we talk about planning, all the other standards talk about risk and opportunity, and so does this. So when we start to think about, okay, what could go wrong? The best thing you can do as a layperson who's not a cybersecurity specialist is just brainstorm what you've heard. We could get hacked. Okay, awesome. Perfect. Ransomware, phishing emails, some of the household names related to cybersecurity, 2-factor authentication, that 6-digit number you need to put in now when you log into the bank, or even for your email system. We're rolling out 2-factor authentication ourselves on our email system now, so that when people log into their emails, they need to confirm that it's them logging in, and we put that extra step in place to lock our systems down. So brainstorm those things as a group of lay people. You could do this risk management planning in your management review. You can do it separately by having a risk workshop, or you could just convene a spreadsheet, which is a risk register, if you like. What do we think our cybersecurity risks are? Now, it's not about getting it right first go. It's about repeating that exercise on a regular basis. And I'd recommend quarterly, at worst 6 monthly, coming back to a list of what are the consequences of our actions, what could go wrong, and thinking about the next 3 months or the next 6 months, what could go wrong? We could have ransomware. Someone could open a dodgy email. Someone could crash a computer. The office could catch fire and we'd lose everything. Someone would give out their password to an important system. Someone would make a mistake. Someone wouldn't change their password. Someone might do the wrong thing. Someone might attack us. Those are the kinds of things that you can write down in your risk register to get yourself started. Now, if you've already got a quality system, a safety system, or environment system, you've already got some kind of risk register. In quality, it's called risk and opportunity. In safety, it's called risk management or hazards and risks. In environment, it used to be called aspects and impacts, now called risk and opportunity. Information security is exactly the same. So if you have like a global central risk register, we do here at Best Practice, big spreadsheet, you can add it to the list or open another tab and have, these are our cybersecurity risks or our information security risks. So when an external auditor comes in to audit you against this standard, that's going to be one of the first things that they want to see, because they want to see that you're thinking ahead. So if you're stumped and you can't think of any suggestions, write this question down. In thinking about the next 3, 6, 12 months, what could go wrong from a cybersecurity perspective? Great, simple question to prompt the discussion with the team members you can assemble. In thinking about the last 3, 6, 12 months, what have we heard went wrong? Who copped ransomware? Who was hacked? Why were they hacked? What happened? There are some great guidelines out there now, and particularly something I've been talking about on the live streams the last couple of weeks, cyber.gov.au, Australian government website, the Essential 8. Kind of the mandatory requirements now to be a company in Australia anyway. And if you are looking to take out a cyber insurance, cybersecurity insurance policy. The insurers are looking for you to make sure that you do the essential 8 anyway, so you can get started on that. And that is, there's different provisions, and I talked about in a previous video. We'll drop a link to that video in the description below this video on YouTube, so you can go back to it and have a look at the live stream from a couple of weeks ago. So have a think about that, but risk planning. And so then you can start thinking about information security objectives and targets. You can say, we want to be doing routine testing, regular risk management discussions. As you identify issues, then that can flag, do we need to get some specialist help? And so when you get to the operation part, which is part 8 of the standard, and we're getting down to my list of favorite parts, if you need to get some external help, that's when you can say, look, we've had to think about it. This is what we think could go wrong. And then you can focus your help. If you don't do that risk brainstorming first as a company without external people, they'll come in and try to sell you the world, and it's going to cost you a fortune. So hopefully what I've done is save you some money, costs you nothing or next to nothing, to have that group discussion about what we think could go wrong, because then you can kind of focus. You can say to people, look, we think here's our areas of exposure. Can you come in and help us with that? Do you see any other areas we could be exposed? And then you can interrogate that with some sensible analysis, not just saying we don't know. And someone walks in, an IT consultant walks in and goes, these guys have got no idea. I'm going to make all of my money out of these guys and I'm going to get rich. That's not what I want for you guys. I'm on your side. I want you to do this methodically, strategically, and in a proactive way going forward. If in your head right now you're saying that's never going to happen to me, I don't need to do this, you're wrong. And I'm just going to be really blunt, particularly if you're an organization operating in Australia right now, or any of the kind of, tier 1 English speaking countries. We're under attack, as is anyone anywhere in the world. So I'm not just saying that that's just, the G8 or whatever they're called, but there is a lot going on behind closed doors right now. There's significant increases in denial of service attacks and phishing emails and cyber warfare going on. I don't want to scare anybody, but now's the time to kind of get on top of this. And you can use this very strategic mechanism to get routine and regular behaviors in place. The secret to this standard and any management system is in section 9. And I started with section 9, I'm coming back to it. And it's about performance evaluation. And success comes with monitoring, measurement, analysis, and evaluation. And I just want to step away from management systems for a moment and quickly talk to you about high performance people. We've just had the Commonwealth Games, if anyone's been watching. Who's been watching the Commonwealth Games? Let me know in the comments if you watched the Commonwealth Games recently. Absolutely fantastic. Those people, how do they get to the Commonwealth Games? They practice. So high performance athletes get there because they practice. Think about musicians or artists or pop stars or even movie stars to a certain extent. You don't get there because you've got no talent. You get there because you've got talent. Your organization has got to where it is today because it's got talent. And talent is improved with practice, and perfect practice makes perfect. And practice is more about showing up. It's not about a score out of 10 for your practice. It's often just a fact of practicing, and it's a pass or fail. Did or didn't you practice? And there's some great books, like there's the 10,000 hour book, for example, which is you get super good and you become the master of your craft after 10,000 hours. So in section 9, and this is kind of the last place that I wanted to touch on, my 5th part, if you like, to this session. So we're almost at the end, is performance evaluation. It comes with monitoring and measurement. And it comes with things like, ignore this logo for a minute, this performance over time graph. And if you look closely at this logo, there's other parts to the performance, and there's different areas of performance that influence each other. You can have a really good result in one area because you're focused on it, but you drop the ball in another area. And so starting to think about, what does your dashboard look like? And someone might say, I don't know what to measure from a cybersecurity perspective. Well, the first thing you can measure is, did everybody update their password every 3 months? Did everybody move from a password to a passphrase? Have we trained everybody in information security? Have we trained everybody in how to identify spam and phishing emails in their email inbox, not just to rely on the strength of the spam filter or the junk mail filter? I had to give my mother-in-law, beautiful lady, last night some training in clicking and not clicking spam, and how to actually teach her email inbox to basically be learning what's spam and what's not. She said, I just select them all and delete them. I said, well, if you do that, you're not training your email inbox to understand what's junk and what's not. If you keep moving a particular sender to the junk mail box, then your email inbox is going to learn that that sender is junk, and you're not going to have to delete it anymore. And I had to give her that lesson. Now, God bless her soul, she's in her late 70s and she's doing very well for herself. But that is something that's really critical, and I want you to start to teach people. So I gave my mother-in-law a training session last night on management of spam and looking for, what's junk, what's phishing, what to click on, what not to click on. Why? I don't have time to fix her computer if something goes wrong. And so she's dead set on having a HP desktop, notebook machine that runs on a Windows system. I'm an Apple person and I use Google Workspace. If she wants that, she needs Norton antivirus and all that kind of stuff. And last night I had to figure out how to manage all that. Fortunately, my 11-year-old son, Harley, started to get in and become the IT department. So I think I've almost finished training him. He's 11. I think by the time he's 12, he'll be the IT department for our family, which is excellent. The young ones learn really quickly. He's learning to code and program computers, that kind of stuff, which is exciting. So what we need to do is, if we're thinking about monitoring and measurement, don't just think, we need a dashboard, how many times we get hacked, how many hits to the website, all that sort of stuff. You can start with, have we trained everybody? Yes, tick. Okay, so everyone's trained. Who's not trained? You can start monitoring that. Who's changed their passwords? Great. How many systems have two-factor authentication turned on? How many don't have it turned on? When was the last time we updated it? Does everybody need access to everything? So those are some of the things you can monitor and measure without getting into the high performance dashboards of, how many times a month did we do a penetration test or try to ethically hack the system. So my favorite part, obviously is part 9. There's a little section in there on internal audits, and I'll just quickly touch on that because I think it's relevant. It says internal audit. Don't think that you need to make this big textbook deal of doing an internal audit. What the standard is asking for is that you do a gap analysis on yourself on a regular basis to just check you didn't forget anything. It's pretty simple. And so, like making a chocolate cake, did you leave out an ingredient? Because if you use all the ingredients in the right quantities, following the method, and cook it for the right amount of time, you're pretty much going to get a good quality chocolate cake. And so an internal audit, don't be scared of them. Don't think that they're bureaucracy. Think about it like a gap analysis. Let's do regular gap analysis on a monthly basis. Let's work through the process, split the standard down, split our management system down, look at what we're doing, and just check that on a regular basis. We're not missing anything. That's the intent. And that's kind of the bonus tip, if you like. Nick Fagan, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hello, Anna. Good to have you on board. Who else is there? Questions? Oh my gosh, there you go, Hayden. Good to see you on YouTube again. Thanks, welcome back. I think, are you both? Yes, you're on both. Okay, awesome. Good to see you over on YouTube. Yes, cybersecurity attack, it happens, particularly ransoms and ransomware. Don't ever play a ransom. Just go to your white-collar cybersecurity, police or whoever might, and get their help. Yes, it does actually happen, and I have heard of companies who are still using systems like offline systems or off-cloud systems, and it does happen. Strategically, here goes my voice, it's about to die. Strategically, you can look to the cloud. Cloud-based systems generally a little bit more secure, and obviously, just because of the longevity of their time in systems is Apple computers and Google systems are less likely to be at risk than Microsoft systems. Like it or not, Microsoft is not as secure. Needs patch after patch after patch. I saw a great ad last night for the new Google Chromebook with inbuilt cybersecurity. Excuse me, voice is about to go completely. So, if you're making those strategic decisions about the way forward, think about, can we push things into the cloud, and can we use this? If you've got lots of people in the workforce that are only using small systems and process and not doing very much, really think about whether they can use a Chromebook. It's a great system. There's lots of great stuff going on with that. I see a lot of, is that camera okay? I see a lot of best practice people in the audience today. One moment. We are back. Apologies, the camera just had a moment there. Yes, listen out for Kobi's advice on spam emails. Thank you, Nick, for your points. Thank you, Hayden, for your points. I'm just checking for questions. I apologize. Okay, where'd we get to? Okay, so that's ISO 27001. They're my top sections. So what have I talked about? Just to quickly summarize, integrating information security and cybersecurity discussions into your management review, integrating information and cybersecurity into position descriptions and roles and responsibilities in the organization, integrating identification of things that could go wrong into your risk management planning, integrating monitoring and measurement into your existing monitoring and measurement, and conducting a gap analysis or internal audit against the standard. You can do all that sort of stuff by yourself right now. You can get started on that. My question to you is, what are you waiting for? You don't need us for that. If you would like us to get involved, if you need some assistance right now, we've got a bunch of offers. The first is an information security and cybersecurity health check. We're sending out emails about that. You can get a proposal from us if you reach out to our business development team. So sales@bestpractice.biz or marketing@bestpractice.biz or info@bestpractice.biz. The other thing you can do, if you want a proposal for ISO 27001 certification, there's an online calculator. We'll drop the link to that in the comments next to this video. There's a best practice online calculator. You can get an instant quote for any of the ISO standards for your organization right now on the best practice website for us to help you with ISO certification wherever you are in the world. I think it's really exciting. Massive shout out to the team for building that system. It's the first in the industry in the world. But like most things here at Best Practice, we try to do things first and we get better at it by getting practice way in front of our competitors. And I want that for you as well down the track. Okay, there is nothing left of my voice. I'm really struggling. So I'm going to bid everybody farewell. Lots of stuff happening on Instagram. As always, my Instagram account and my handle is @Kobi Simmat. Obviously, lots of stuff happening on LinkedIn and the team are helping with that. If you need a hard copy of the standard, reach out to the team. We'll facilitate that for you. We buy them in bulk and we can distribute them. If you want a quote for 27001 certification, that's available on the online calculator. And if you did want a discount on an ISO 27001 course where you can get a certificate, so say you've got started with this training, the discount code is webinar50 and it's available at bestpracticeeducation.com.au. You can go to bestpractice.biz and click through to the online training academy and you can go to the 27001 course. And if you put in webinar 50, you'll get a 50% discount. It's a massive discount. I can't believe the team are doing this to me. Anyway, I want you to get that training and I want you to get on that course. And if that's something that you're looking for as a little baby step to get going and you want an online course to give you a certificate to help you with your career, but give you guidance on getting going, jump on and do that course. Okay, that's it for me. Lots of stuff happening on Instagram, lots of stuff happening on LinkedIn. TikTok has gone crazy, as I've been saying. So my account on TikTok, if you just want leadership tips, tricks, and business advice. If you don't see me on any of those platforms, you'll see me in 2 weeks' time because I'm going to go and have a week off with the family. 2 weeks' time. Actually, it'll be 3 weeks' time. I apologize. Hang on. Not next week, week after. 2 weeks' time, I'll be back right here on with Nick at Next Practice, right here on Best Practice TV. Bye for now.